Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In this video, we'll be learning how we can implement passport authentication in our Express application. Okay, so let us start this video. Now here you can see I have created a folder Express Passport Authentication, and what I will do is I will create an empty Node.js project here. So to create an empty Node.js project, I typed npm init -y and it has written a lot of things here. Okay, so what I will do is first of all, I need to change this to module type, and the license you can use ISC. I will use MIT, that is the standard license on GitHub. Now, what I will do is here, I will go ahead and do something like npm I express and express dash handlebars. Okay, and then we'll install mongoose. Okay, mongoose to uh, create users. Okay, then we can use express dash session. Okay, to manage sessions throughout our application. We'll have connect mongo. Okay, to create a mongo store to store our sessions inside the MongoDB database. Okay, then we'll have the passport library. Okay, passport local. Okay, passport local and passport GitHub to let us say Google OAuth 20 and passport GitHub to. Okay, now these are some of the libraries that you can find out on like passport.js.org. And if you come to this website, this is the official documentation for Passport.js. Now here, if we'll search for, wait a second, if we search for passport uh, local, okay, local. So you can see this is passport local strategy. You also have the magic links login for within passport, but we'll do not go into that. Then we'll have Google OAuth 20. Okay, and then we have like GitHub too. Okay, so we'll use these three strategies in our application. Let us just first of all create one SAM uh, ExpressJS application. Okay, so here I'm having this JS file. Now what I will do is I'll later import Express from Express. Okay, and what I can do is now import. Okay, so I have to actually install the packages. Also, I'll install .env to read all the environment variable files. Now, after installing all these packages, okay, let us wait for some time. By the way, I'm using Synthwave 84 extension for this amazing theme. If you want to, if you want to use Synthwave, you can go ahead and use synthwave, and after installing it just press Ctrl Shift P and enable neon dreams. Okay, so there's not in this registry. Okay, I think I did some typo error while installing this. Okay, so let me just remove this E from here. Okay, I'll press enter. Now it will install all the packages in my inside this folder. Okay, let's wait for some time. Okay, now you will see all the dependencies have been installed. Now what I can do is I can write two scripts. Start def. Okay, first of all I write here node dash def watch index.js and start. This will listen to node index.js. Okay, so these are two scripts. Now what I will do is I will also import .env slash config. Okay, and const app is equal to express. Okay, const app is equal to express. Now const port is equal to process dot env dot port. or else we'll be using 8080. Okay, and then what I can do is I'll write here app.get slash. Okay, then we'll have the request and response objects. Okay, not console.log actually. This should be rest.send hello world. Okay, rest.send hello world. And what I can do is now app.listen, and we'll go ahead and listen on port that is 8080 console.log app listening on port. Okay, now what I can do is then what I have to do is I have to run these scripts. So let's just open another PowerShell and right here npm run start colon dev. Now this will start our application. Now as soon as I save it, you can see our application is restarting automatically. So you don't need to use node mod anymore. You can use this watch flag with Node.js. Now, then what I have to do is I have to configure database. Now to configure database, I'll create a DB folder and inside that I'll add this index.js file. Now import mongoose from mongoose. Okay, and export const connect DB is equal to an asynchronous function. Okay, now if you have not yet installed MongoDB on a system, let me suggest you can go ahead and download the community version of MongoDB. Here's the community server. Now, after downloading it, you have to install it as a service on the system so that whenever you start your system, the service will automatically run. Now, this service is called as MongoD service. Okay, so if there is any issue while running the MongoD service, you can go ahead and browse in the documentation how to run the MongoD service. Now here you will see we have another option that is MongoDB Atlas. Okay, so what is MongoDB Atlas? Basically, you don't need to set up MongoDB locally on your system. You can go ahead, create an Atlas account. Now this will be stored on the cloud. Okay, you don't need to install MongoDB Compass, but we'll be using Compass in this video. So I have already installed MongoDB Compass, and this will look like this, and you can just connect to your local host. I have a bunch of databases here. What you can do is you can just if you are getting confused, just you can see like by default you will have this test local config and admin. These four databases will be present by default. Click on these three dots, copy the connection string. You have the copy connection string option. Copy the connection string and right here, await mongoose.connect, mongoose.connect, and paste that here. And here I will write here express passport authentication. Okay, express passport authentication console.log connected to MongoDB. Okay. Connected to MongoDB, and I will save it and import connect DB, import connect DB. Now inside ES modules, you have to provide the full path of the module that is db/index.js. Now after doing this, what you can do is after creating the instance of Express application, we can run this connect DB. Now you'll see that it's first creating running the server, then it's connecting to MongoDB. But we don't want that. We want that first we should connect to the database, then we should run this server. Otherwise, we cannot query on our database models. And so I'll provide a dot then to run the server after connecting to the database. Or else what I can do is I can just console.log error connecting to database. Okay, database. And what I can do is I can also provide the error here, process.exit one. Now, if one fails to connect to the database, what we can do is we can just exit the process, like it will stop everything after the error is being logged in the console. Now you have this connected to MongoDB app listening on port 8080. Now we have another package that is called Morgan. You can install it if you want to have logs inside of console. Now use this Morgan package only in the development environment. This is not meant for production part. Okay, so here what I will do is after connecting to the database, I will see if process.env dot node underscore env triple equals to develop, or you can say not equals to production. Let us say prod. What you can do is app.use. This is for using a middleware. App.use Morgan for development purposes. Okay, now we have enabled Morgan. Now we have to create a .env file, and here we have to provide the node underscore env, and we have to provide here def. Okay, now if you have changed anything within the .env file, you need to restart your server. Okay, so this is quite painful if you want to manually restart your server. So I will install NodeMon as a dev dependency file. Okay, so after installing NodeMon, I can create a nodemon.json file in which I'll provide a watch. Okay, watch dot slash and dot env file. Then by default, it watches the JavaScript, JSON, and CJS or MJS files. We'll just tell watch out all the extensions and execute node index.js. All this. If you're using TypeScript, this should be replaced by this node should be replaced by TS node instead of only node, and you have to install TS node if you're using TypeScript. And what I will do is I will now start my development server. Let me change the script. Okay, to start the development server, I enter node one, simply node one, no other arguments to node one because it will by default watch out for this nodemon.json and to go for all the default configurations provided. So what I will do is npm run start dev again. Now it will start watching out the .env file and this entire path, and it's watching all the extensions. Now, if I go ahead to localhost port 8080 and you'll see hello world. Now you can see this is logging everything inside the console, that is get slash 200 and get slash 5 icon ICO. Now this is a 404 error. Oh, sorry. Now this is being raised because we don't have any icon for our application till now. Okay, then let us do one thing. Let us just go ahead and configure Express handlebars. To configure Express handlebars, I have to destructure engine from Express handlebars module. And after this Morgan, what I'll do is I'll enter uh, Express handlebars configuration. Configuration. Okay, Express handlebar configuration. App.engine. I have to provide the extension .hps. Uh, .hps. Okay, and we have to provide the function that is engine, and we have to modify the extension .hps, and the default layout will be a main. Okay, and what you can do is app.set. First, it takes the setting that is view engine, and value will be any. We have to provide the extension .hps. Now, after setting all of this thing is, let me go ahead to Gemini, google.com, and let us just ask Gemini to create a web design, better responsive web design for my Notes app. The, this should include a navbar with login, login with Google option. Let's just do one thing. Let's just ask GitHub Copilot agent. Okay, so I will use this in the agent mode. Okay, add vanilla CSS with blue theme. Create all the template files using handlebars inside views folder. Okay, and all the static files inside public folder. Okay, I just asked this GitHub Copilot agent, and it's gonna create a new to run this command. So we can use the GitHub Copilot agent mode, and I don't know why it's just going ahead and okay. So let's see what's happening. Continue to iterate. I don't know what's wrong with this GitHub Copilot agent. It's thinking that I am using. Let's create our main layout. It has just created a main layout. Let us just keep this. Okay. And then create an index.handlebars. Just keep it. Okay. And continue. It's thinking like I am using Unix based systems. So it's providing an ampersand. So let us just allow it to do whatever it wants. It has created a public directory, and let's see what happens here. mkdir public slash css. Okay, so it's just doing its job. Okay, so let us see how it has designed the application. Let me just go ahead and write a rest.render. Rest.render. We will render the view that is index. Okay, and let's see it's main.handlebars. Now it's going for slash css slash style.css. So we need to configure the static file, the public directory, static files configuration. Okay, app.use express.static. Okay, and we can directly provide in the public directory. Okay, so let us just go ahead and reload our application. Fail to look up index in views directory. Uh, why it's doing so? Okay, so it has actually provided this entire extension, but actually, sorry, but actually we had customized the extension. So let's just reload this and wow, this looks awesome. Uh, I think there is some issue with the home page designs. Okay, so it's using the blue color theme and let us check out the responsiveness, how it's responsive. Yeah, it's responsive. Uh, fix gapping issues in the welcome section inside index.hps file. Okay, let's just ask it for that. I think it should fix the issues, the gapping issues. Uh, just wait for some time. I think we can fix it on our own. The welcome section, margin area. Okay. So it's going for some edits. Keep it, and I think it should modify this CSS as well. Let's just wait. Let me just reload this page. Wait a second. Two files changed. Now it's applying the edits to CSS as well. Let's just so it has added a lot of things right here. I think it has added an alert to our application. Let us see. Uh, let me see what's going on. So I don't need this alert here. I don't need the alert for now. And if I'll see, if I'll reload it, and if I check the responsiveness of our application, it's quite responsive. Yeah, AI has done a good job. Actually, it's the agent, GitHub Copilot agent. It has just saved a lot of time. So would actually waste a lot of time when designing the entire application. Now let us just do one thing. Let us just configure a Passport.js. So to configure Passport.js, I will create a config folder. Such a config folder. I'll create a passport config.js. Okay. Now export default function. Okay. Export default function that will accept passport. Okay, now let's just go ahead and import passport, not passport actually, import strategy from this GitHub Google OAuth as Google strategy. Okay, and we can import the GitHub too. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me just remove the local passport local. Okay, npm. This is actually open. It's done now. Let me just do one thing. Let me just remove passport local because we need to set up the entire authentication using sign up. So I'm uninstalling passport local. We'll be covering that later on in other videos. So I have imported. I have to change the name of the variable as well. Okay, so GitHub strategy and Google strategy. Okay, passport.use new Google strategy. Okay, and we'll have the client ID, then we'll have the client secret, then we'll have the callback URL. Okay, this will be the callback URL. Now, what I can do is I can just go ahead and uh, callback URL. And we have to also provide an asynchronous function to, okay, so async access token, okay, refresh token, then we'll have the profile object, then we'll have the that is the callback function. Now we can have an arrow function right here. So we can write a done none profile. We have no errors initially. Now we have to create a Google application. We have to configure this client. So we have to go to this console.cloud.google.com. Okay. And here what I will do is I will go ahead and create a new project. Okay. So I'm already having some projects. What I can do is let's just go ahead and I'll create a new project. Actually, I'm having some projects. So I'll create a new project here and I'll name it as uh, let us say ICQ, or let us say passport tutorial. Okay, or let us say CW tutorials. So let me just create this application, and after creating this application, we can create a project named CW tutorials, and I will select this project. Okay, I will select this project. Let's wait for some time. Select project. Now we have to go to this navigation menu inside this APIs and services. Let's go to enabled APIs and services. Now we have to actually configure the Google platform for our application. Okay, so actually we have to go to this OAuth consent screen. Okay, so let's just wait for some time. So you can see Google Auth platform not configured yet. Get started to configure your application's identity. And here I will provide on my app new that is just a CWL tutorials and tab. I will press enter, click on next, audience type external because we are not a Google Workspace user. So we'll not have any internal users. Okay. So @gmail.com. Click on next. I agree to the Google API services. Okay, you can go ahead and read out the API services guide. Okay, and after clicking on finish, what you can do is create an OAuth client. Okay, create an OAuth client web application and name the web client as CWL tutorials. We have to add some authorized redirect URIs. So my authorized redirect URI will be /auth /Google /callback. Okay, so this will be my redirect URI. This will be the callback URI. I'll click on create. Okay, and we have this client ID. You can download the JSON, of course, and I'll click on OK. I have to go to this application to get our client ID and the client secret. Copy this client ID. I will suggest you to store your client ID and secret inside this .env file. Google client ID, that is this URI, and copy this. Okay, Google client underscore secret. Okay, what I can do is now right here like Google OAuth callback URL, Google OAuth callback URL /auth /Google /callback. Okay. So I will save that. Here, what I will do is I will now copy my keys instead of this empty string. I'll enter process.env dot this Google client ID, and I'll copy this Google client secret. That will be process.env Google client secret. and Google OAuth fallback. Okay, process.env Google OAuth callback. Now we need to configure something that is the session secret for our application. Okay, so let us just configure here session underscore secret. Okay, and after configuring this, what I can do is I can go ahead and inside this index.js, let us configure passport express session configuration. Okay, const mongo store, okay, is equal to new mongo store. So mongo store will be used to save our sessions inside our MongoDB database. It accepts a MongoDB URL, and we should do is actually we should store our connection URL, this MongoDB connection URL, inside our env file. Okay, so let us just go ahead and write your MongoDB URL. Okay, save this, and I'll copy this. Go ahead here, process.env.mongodb underscore URL, and here as well, we'll provide this process.env.mongodb underscore URL. Okay, and what I can do is I can go ahead and write here app.use session. That will be not from passport actually, session from express session. Okay, secret, that is process.env dot session secret. We save false, save uninitialized false, and store will be Mongo store. Okay, now we will save this and we are good to go with express session. Now let's just configure passport middleware. Okay, app.use passport dot initialize. Okay, and right here app.use passport dot uh, passport dot session. Okay, and then what I have to do is actually I need to bring in the passport config from dot slash passport.config.js. Okay, it has automatically imported. Now this passport config actually accepts the passport argument. Okay, and well, if we'll save that, we are good to go. What you have to do is now we have to write here app.get slash auth slash Google. Okay, passport.authenticate using Google. Okay, and will provide options like the scope. Scope will get the profile as well as the email address of the user. Okay, and app.get slash auth slash Google slash callback. Passport.authenticate will provide Google. Okay, and if our success redirect will be slash dash slash user slash profile, and failure redirect will be up to the slash. Now let us create the slash user slash profile. Okay, what I can do is I can write a slash user slash profile rest dot send user profile. Save that, and then what I can do is I can uh, let us see if it works. So if I'll click on login with Google, it will redirect me to this particular application. Now you will see it will tell me to choose my account. I will choose my account here. And if I'll click on continue, it will redirect me to my Now fail to serialize user into session. Now I will ask, like I will ask you to, uh, I'll ask to GitHub Copilot in the not in the HMO. So ask what is serialization and deserialization in past. If I'll ask GitHub Copilot, okay, used one reference. It has actually used this index.js file as the reference. A serialization is the process of determining which data of the user should be stored in the session. It happens when a user logs in successfully. Deserialization is the process of taking the user ID from the session and using it to find the full user object. Now, if we'll see the passport Google, if I'll come down and if we'll see, wait a second, let me go to the documentation. Wait a second, documentation. Now, it has actually provided here inside the sign in of Google. Now, register app configure strategy. Now, after configuring strategy, what you need to do is actually we need to serialize and deserialize the user. So here you have this serialize and deserialize your user code that has been provided by uh, that has been provided here. What I can do is I can go ahead and write your uh, passport dot serialize user. Okay, and it will accept user and done. Okay, now I can write a done null comma user dot id. Then I can go ahead and similarly write in something like this passport dot deserialize user. Okay, deserialize. Hope I'm calling it right. Okay, so can provide the ID and the user and the done function. Okay, so if I see the code async ID comma done, what I can do is I can just write in here done null comma ID. Now error is null. Let us just save that. And if I'll go ahead and re-authenticate the user, sign in with Google, continue, and let's see what happens here. So user profile here, we are getting the user profile. And then what I can do is I can just go ahead and write in here, like if we're getting the user profile, just console.log. What I can do is I can get the request dot user object, user request dot user. And if I'll save it and reload it again, you'll get this. This is the Jeffrey's ID. Now we are getting the request dot user. We can configure MongoDB. We'll be configuring MongoDB models. Now, what I can do is I can create a middleware. Okay, so I can create a middleware slash check auth.js. Okay, now export const check auth. Okay, export const check auth, which in taken request response and next function. And what I will do is if request.user, okay, if request.user next or else return rest.status 401.json, or let us say dot send unauthorized access. Okay, unauthorized access. Now if I'll go ahead and add in the checkbox middleware here. If I reload, I will not be getting any 401 unauthorized error. Rather, let me remove this. And what shall I do is I can also go ahead and write here app.get. slash auth slash logout. Okay, a request comma response. And what I can do is here, I can write a if request dot user, if request not request dot user, we can directly go ahead and implement a checkout here. Okay, uh, request dot request dot logout, request dot logout, and press dot redirect to slash. Let us save that and let's try to access slash auth. And let me, if I'll access this home page, now you will see there's no improvement. Like, let us go ahead and write here. Let's just go ahead and write here app.use. Okay, app.use request comma response comma next. Okay, if I'm using if request dot user, okay, rest dot locals dot user is equal to request dot user, else rest dot locals dot user is null. Okay, so we'll be setting that to null and we'll run the next function. Now what this will do is it will set a global variable user. And if I reload this, we have this welcome comma this is like request dot user. Uh, okay, so we are not getting any name. So here what I have to do is here also I have to show the logout. Instead of doing that, let me just do one thing. Uh, Let me see if the user is a guest. If the user is a guest, let me create another middleware. Is guest.js. Okay, what I will do is I'll just do the reverse of this. Okay, so if the user is already authenticated, if the user is not already authenticated, what I will do is rest dot redirect to slash user slash profile. Okay, let's just save that. And what I will do is inside this template files, this views folder, I'll copy everything inside this particular uh, index.hps, profile.hps. I'll create another folder, not another folder, actually another file. Now I'll remove this hashtag if user. Okay, and I don't want any error messages right now. Save that. And this profile user will by default have the user access to the user object. Okay, so what I can do is I can just directly welcome, not please log in to continue. Wait a second. I think I removed the wrong section. Okay, so here I have to actually remove the else part. Okay, user dot display name. Rather, I'll just give the user, and if I reload it, I have to provide this is guest the middleware right inside the home page. Is guest. So actually, I need to modify the name. Is guest. So I'll only allow guest users to the home page or else the user will be redirected here. So I have to render the user profile page, not the, I'll not send any plain HTTP responses. Render the profile page. Now we have welcome. This is the ID of the user and this is login with Google. Let me just modify that. Inside this layouts, we have this main.hps. Now I'll do one thing. I'll write a hashtag if user slash if. Now we'll have also an else. Okay. So if the user is already logged in, so I'll just show him the logout button. Google Let us call it simply auth btl, not the Google login btl. So let me go inside my public style.css, control F, Google login, okay, control H, and I will replace it with auth btl. Save this, reload, and if I reload, you can see we are getting this logout here. Okay, now if I click on logout, I will be request of logout requires a callback function. So wait a second. Request of logout requires a callback function. Done. Uh, Login with Google. Now it will redirect us to our uh, profile page. If I click on logout, it will redirect me to this page. And this is not getting styled by, so it is having the Google login detail auth to, and this is login with Google. Can I also add this to auth, this GitHub option? Let us just go ahead with GitHub as well. Okay, and let me also add the button to my navigation bar. GitHub. If I reload, you will see this login with Google and login with GitHub options. Let us go to github.com. Okay, github.com, and we'll go to this settings to of our GitHub account. Okay, if you don't have any GitHub account, don't worry. You can only go ahead with the Google strategy. Okay, so I'm just implementing a GitHub application. So I'll create a new OAuth tab, or let us say okay, so I'll create a new OAuth tab. So I'll name it as CWL tutorials. Okay, and homepage URL is this homepage URL. We can also modify the homepage URL if you're going to production based applications. /auth /github /fallback. Okay, and register application. Now we'll get our client ID. Just copy this. Okay, and inside this .env file, I'll just replicate everything. Instead of writing Google, I'll just write here GitHub, and just replace this GitHub client ID, and we'll create a new client secret. Okay, so I have to generate a new client secret that requires a password. Copy this. If I reload it, it will just hide the client secret. Okay, and I require this GitHub callback. Uh, Let us see inside our passport config, passport.config.js. Can we also use GitHub strategy? Okay, so let us see GitHub OAuth scopes. So let me see what scopes they profiled so that I can actually access everything. Not repo, actually, you need the access to the read user. So we have this project. I think we need to go ahead, save this. When save this, okay. We have the user object, read user. Let us check out the GitHub strategy. Okay, so profile.id, GitHub ID, profile ID. This is the profile ID. So scope, okay. So scope, we need to provide the user email. So let us just go ahead, and this is fine. This is fine actually. So inside the index.js file, what you need to do is copy everything, this slash or slash Google. So we need to provide in this GitHub. Uh, we can actually go ahead and read the user as well. Read user's profile data. Okay, so what we can do is actually we can also go ahead and provide in read. So we can also read the user profile data, read user. Okay, and let's GitHub. Okay, slash user slash profile. Now let us see if this works. Okay, so let me see if there are any errors. We are not having any errors. So log in with GitHub and CW tutorials by Lakshya Dash, authorized Flux, and if we'll see, yeah, that's fine. That's working. Okay, just log out from everything. Now, what we need to do is we need to configure MongoDB models, okay, to store the database sessions. Now, if I'll see, if I'm logging in with GitHub and if I'll watch out my database, databases, let me see if I'm having a refresh. So Express Passport Authentication, I'm having one session active. This is the database session, database base session. Now, if I click on logout, it will actually delete the session. If I refresh it, um, will not have any sessions, but actually this is being stored here. Okay. I think console application we're still having a session connect.sid. If I'll just delete that. Okay, so we are already having a session. So just delete that. Now, what I will do is I will create a user schema. I will create a user schema here. So I'll create a models folder, user.schema.js. Okay, and import Mongoose, and then we want to import schema. Okay, so const user schema is equal to new schema. Okay, so I need the name of the user. Okay. That is type string. This should be optional because users might not provide their names on their GitHub accounts as well. So we'll add the email property to our, so this should be a key email. Okay. And what I can do is I'll write a type string. Okay. Require true, and it should be unique. We don't want any duplicate entries. Okay, then what I can do is I can write here, I will write here uh, the image type string. Okay, and what I can do is I can write here join. So the type will be date, and I'll provide a default value that is date dot now. Okay, and export const user model. Okay, user model equals to mongoose.model. Okay, so I'll provide user and then I'll provide the user schema. If you want to store additional things like address or any additional profile details, you can just go ahead and store that. You can also go ahead and store the GitHub ID and profile, GitHub ID and Google ID. Okay. So what I can do is I can write here uh, You can store the connected profiles like the GitHub or your GitHub Google profile. Now, what I will do is inside the passport.config.js, I will write here const email is equal to profile.email. Okay. I'll just go ahead and console.log profile file logging into both the strategies console.log profile. Okay. Once I'll get with the GitHub as well as the Google strategy. Now, if I log in with Google and I should get the user profile object. So I'm having something like this emails, then we have an array. So then if I log out and log in with GitHub again, you will see we are having this GitHub display name, username, and we don't have the profile, the email address. Let me see if I'm having the email address. I don't think we're having the email address. Okay, so let me see. How will go with Laksh? So I'm not having the email address, user email. I'm actually using the user email scope. What has happened? I don't understand. Scope, I should get the user email properly. I should get this. Read user and user email. I should get that. And I don't think I'm getting the user email property from you. GitHub auth scopes. I should get the user. If I modify the scope and try to log in with GitHub again, I should authorize this. And let us see what happens. What we are getting. We are getting everything, but we are not getting the user email. Okay, so if I'll see my GitHub account, have I configured my email? Okay, so actually I have not yet done this. I need to update. Now, if I'll try to log in again with the same scopes as before, if I'll try to log in with GitHub again. So I think that this time we should have the access to the email address. Yeah, now we are having access to the email address. Okay, so let us just save that and ensure that you have access to the user's email address if that is public. Okay, so that's why I will just, uh, I think I should remove this GitHub strategy because you might not have the access to the user's email address. Okay, so you know now how to access the email address part. You can store the GitHub ID. So what I can do is now, let me just scroll all the way up and let me read out the. Okay. So what I will do is here const user is equal to await user model. I think I have exported the user model here. Okay, const email is equal to await. Not await. Actually, I have to read the profile dot emails. Okay, so this is an array dot values. Okay, dot value actually. Okay, so this is an array. Then we have access to the first object of the first element of the array, and we access the value of the first key, that is value. Okay, so then what I can do is I can write here if email. Okay, if email. Now if you have the access to the email by default, so const user is equal to await user model dot find one. Okay, for dot find one, and we will find the user by email. Now if user done, will provide the user instead of the profile object, else const new user is equal to await user model dot create. Okay, user model dot create, and we can provide the name of the user, that is profile dot display name. Then we'll have the email. Okay, then we'll have the image, that is profile dot profile dot photos, zero zeroth element dot value. Okay, and what you can do is we can do like done none comma new user. Okay, now we can copy this. Okay, and here inside this GitHub strategy, what I will do is first I will try to read the email. Okay, I'll try to read the email. Try. Okay, try. Actually, this should be curly braces. Now done. What we have to do is catch error. Okay, done. So the error will be like uh, this actually done. So done cannot read email address. Okay, so then we have to then make sure it's publicly. Let me see what we have to enable. Uh, Selected public. Okay, so what we can do is we can actually throw the error, like we can throw our custom error. Now what should I do is, okay, let me go to my GitHub profile and let me see what did it suggest. Okay, so serialize user.id. Okay, now what I can do is we can implement the try catch block. Okay, try catch const user is equal to await user model dot find by id. If user model dot find by id, then we have to provide the id. Okay, then done. This should be async. Done. So error is nothing. So we can just do like done null comma user. So we don't have any errors if we are succeeding in finding the user, or else done. We can just provide in the error, and then we don't have any data to send if I'm getting some errors. Okay, let me just remove any cannot find module. Okay, so this should be user.schema.js. Okay, just save that, and let us go ahead and do one thing. Let us just provoke the access to our. Okay, so let us see the applications. Okay, authorized OAuth app. So let me see the CWL tutorials. Let me revoke the access. Okay, now what I can do is actually, if we need to log in the user, so path model. Okay, so actually what's happening is, uh, we need to delete the existing session, to delete this existing session from here. And also what I need to do is, I have to also go to MongoDB Compass, connect this Express Passport authentication. Let me delete this sessions collection, drop collection, and let me delete this users collection as well, drop collection. Okay. Now, if I'll go ahead and delete all the cookies from here, like clerk, JWT, every cookie from here, and I shouldn't have any extra cookies or any keys right here. So if I reload and click on login with GitHub, I think this should go ahead and ask me to authorize. Okay, so let me see what happens. Welcome this, we are getting this object. Actually, what you need to do is, we need to only get the name actually. Okay, so what I can do is I can also go ahead and store in the user name. Passport.config. What we can do is, we can write here username, email.split. Okay, full split by @ and we'll get the zeroth object plus underscore GM, so that we can know that the user has signed up using the Google. Okay, so this is inside the GitHub strategy. So this should be underscore GH to ensure that the user has signed in using the GitHub strategy, and this is the Google strategy. So underscore G. Okay, only to just identify the user. Like, okay, so if I log in again with GitHub, we are not getting anything. Because what is happening is, actually we had not saved the username. Connect. Okay, so let me just go ahead to this passport authentication again and delete the users collection and also the sessions collection. Delete the collection, and again I need to revoke access to ensure that everything is working fine. Okay, now as I'm having access to my user model, now inside the index.js, what can I do is, instead of sending the entire user object, I can only send the user data. Okay, so after sending this, what I can do is I can just log in with GitHub, authorize code Laksh. Okay, and you will see this is Lakshya dash underscore gh. Now we are storing the image of the user as well. If we'll see the MongoDB Compass, we are storing the user object, user image as well. Connect code Laksh, not this. Okay, so users, now we are having the user access, user avatar access. So what can I do is I can just ask to GitHub Copilot agent, open chat. So modify profile.hps and add user image to the card, and as user image, write additional CSS to maintain the aspect ratio. Okay, so it will go ahead and it will modify my profile.hps. Let us see what it does. Let me just log out from my application, and instead of what I will do is I'll also send the user. I'm sending the user. Let us just wait profile.hps. Okay, it will just modify everything. Why it's okay, I'll just modify this code. Okay, I'll just modify this code because let me see if it has okay. So I'll just do one thing. Like no problem solved. Okay. So what I will do is I'll remove this alert component from here, and what I will do is I'll just write here. Okay. If I log in again with GitHub, let us see. Okay, wow. So this looks awesome also. This looks awesome. Now, this maintains the proper aspect ratio as well. So great work with the GitHub Copilot agent mode. So if I try with my other accounts as well, it should work. So if I log in with Google, okay, let's just log in with Google. So we are not getting the profile image. Why it's so? We are not getting the profile image. Let me just reload. What's happening with this? We are not getting the profile image. I should get the profile image. Okay. So this is my profile image. I should get that. Okay. So I had to reload a couple of times. Now profile dashboard, manage your account information. I can log out from my profile. Uh, second. Okay. So now we have configured everything. Okay. Now if you'll authorize Kodaksh cannot read email address, make sure it's selected in public email. Okay, so actually I have not given access to this. Okay, so I think I need to Go to my settings. So if I'll go to GitHub and your profile, I don't think it should not display. Okay, so it's displaying my email address. If I reload, fail to obtain access token, just authorize code clutch again. And now, welcome, Laksharaj. Now we should actually remove this underscore GM and everything. Okay, so we are just writing here underscore GM and everything. But if the user will log in with his or her GitHub account as well, we shouldn't provide this underscore. Okay, so we have done everything that we can do with this particular application. Okay, so now if I'll connect and go to export express passport, now let's just log out from everything and just delete the users collection, delete the sessions collection, okay, the collection. And if I log in with GitHub, okay, so welcome Lakshya Dash 25, log out. And if I'll go ahead and log in with my Google account here, welcome Dash Lakshya 2006. Okay, so we are done with the entire passport based authentication. I think all of the doubts have been cleared about passport authentication. If you have any further doubts, you can just ask in the comments. And if you means if you like the tutorial, you can like this entire video, share with your friends, subscribe to this channel for such awesome tutorials in the future. Thanks everyone for watching this video, and I will see you on the next time.